G'day, welcome to Pay It Forward. Today's tutorial is just a quick little tutorial on a new stitch that I'd like to show you. Here it is a blanket stitch with a little bead incorporated with every stitch. Really useful for this sort of felt jewellery making. Beautiful edging for a lot of little projects. Let me show you how it's done. So to demonstrate this new little beaded blanket stitch to you today, I'm just using two pieces of felt fused together using fusible webbing, and I have sealed the edges there nicely, and I have threaded up my needle, just a standard size needle, with an extra strong upholstery thread that I'm using in a pale blue colour to match my felt, and I've tied one knot in the end, and I've actually come in at the back of my little heart shape, and you can see that I've come out right between those two layers of felt there. So just like you would begin a standard blanket stitch, you can see that my thread is coming out there. Our first stitch goes in directly below the depth you want your stitch, directly below where you've exited from the side. You can see that stitch in there. And before we enter the fabric again, we're going to thread on. I've got some little pink beads here so that you can really see what I'm doing, and these beads are a little bit larger, all to benefit you getting a really good look at this stitch. And we're just going to thread that little bead onto our needle and bring it all the way down to our fabric, right where our next stitch will go. So you can see that I've pulled that bead all the way down, and I'm going to make my next stitch while holding that little bead there. The stitches are about the width of your bead, just to accommodate your bead. Going to sit in there nicely against the edge there, and I've just come in as I normally would, coming through the loop, this side of the loop and this side of the bead. So you can see that by pulling on that, where you would normally have a blanket stitch, just a little stitch, that little stitch is running through the bead and holding that little bead in place. You want to make that quite firm. So again, before we make our next stitch, we're going to take our next bead onto our needle, thread it all the way down, hold it in place there, and make our next stitch. Keep our stitches nice and even all the way through, keeping that little bead to the side there. And you can see as I pull that one down, it's going to make that little one sit just nice and tight and snug next to the first one. So again, before we do anything further, it's always bead first before we make our stitch. There's our third little bead, keeping it sitting there. Keep our stitches nice and even. And you can see that as you pull your thread, that little bead really does sit down there in place nicely straight across. You can see that's coming along really nice there. I'm going to keep going with a few more beads. So there we go, quite a few little beads there stitched on. You can see what a beautiful result that gives. A lovely neat little edge that all stays together. It's quite fluid. Beautiful little edging stitch there, especially for using little projects like this one. Look out for this one. I'm going to be teaching you this one in a tutorial. Little pendant, and that just uses a smaller bead, as you can see, and the smaller little stitch. It really works for so many things. Look out for my felt jewellery tutorials coming up. Thought I'd give you the heads up on that stitch. You'll be all ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you use this little stitch in some of your own projects, and I hope to see you soon in my new one. So remember to subscribe, and most of all, remember to pay it forward, because everybody can, and it's hooroo from me.